Well, welcome to this installment of the Social Media Jumpstart. I'm Kenny. We've got Jay here with us. And in this segment, we're going to focus on the little kid known as Tumblr.
Tumblr, and it's not just for young people. It's going to be for a variety of ways for organizations to engage with younger individuals. And it's actually interesting. The Tumblr is the most popular with the ages between 18 and 29.
Yes, so it's not teeny boppers, but it is young adults.
Yeah, and there's a lot of creative things. We're going to talk about some practical ways that you can use that in brands to kind of get examples. But when you look at among 13 and 25, that age bracket, it's actually more popular than Facebook.
Wow. So that's pretty interesting because there is this known shift that kids are maybe even the younger generation might be moving off of Facebook. Right? I like to always joke that Facebook is the middle school for 40-year-olds, right? Which it tends to be if you're on Facebook. But these younger generation, how do you get to them? And so their Tumblr is one place that they're living. Yeah,
and with Tumblr, one of the great things is that every year there's always this fear that Facebook might go away. Obviously, I believe that Facebook isn't going to go anywhere right now.
Not anywhere soon.
But Tumblr is a great way to experiment and make sure you have a presence with a younger generation, because the younger generation will always be trying new things.
Yeah.
It's kind of always that reaction, since your mom or your parents, and I have grandparents on Facebook, and so it's kind of that reaction. I don't want to go there. They will still have a presence there, but it's important to be aware of the channels where the younger generation is. And right now, Tumblr is that platform.
Yeah, I think the kids were on Facebook, all the adults came on, they're moving to other platforms. Tumblr is the place. I actually read another stat, something like 16% of it's either adults or parents are actually on Tumblr. So they're starting to catch on, but it's also a reason why you as a brand, as an organization, to start thinking about Tumblr. And just to be clear, how do we spell the word Tumblr? It's one of those sexy social words, right?
Yeah, it's Tumbler. So Tumblr. It makes you feel, you just say it and you feel cool. And so, the other thing I want to say before we move on to what's it good for and practical is that when you look at time on site, the time on site average of 14 minutes, when you look at that, that is a high engagement for the community. So when you look at places, sometimes bounce rates and so language like that, and the amount of time people spend on websites, it's very low. But Tumblr has a high engagement, so that means people are really spending time looking through the content, engaging. So it's a great place that you can really interact with people for an extended amount of time.
Yeah, actually, when you get onto Tumblr, it's so easy to get lost in that world that time flies by really quickly, and so that's interesting that they're spending more time per session on Tumblr than they would on Facebook or something else.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So some things that Tumblr can be really good for is just the average church stuff that's going on in your life. Tumblr can actually replace a blog. So a blog is a place where you can have short snippets or stories up, and Tumblr is really a place where you can aggregate all that stuff in one place. And when you post on Tumblr, the great way is that the setups and the templates that are used to create this are very slick, very clean, very straightforward, and you can categorize everything by different categories. So you can have a photo post, you can have a quote post, you can have a story post. And with that, as a church or an organization, you can do a quick photo, you can do a quick story from your church, you can do a powerful quote maybe from the weekend service or from the CEO of your company. It's a great way to just throw up content, and it can be kind of almost like Twitter. It can just kind of go up as it's coming in real time.
It's almost, you can live stream the life of your organization. And it is meant to be quicker than blogging, right? It is super simple.
It's like somewhere between microblogging, which is Twitter, and then blogging. It's like that in between. It's some organizations, what I love is that people at staff meetings and different events will take quick photos and upload them. Yeah. And it's a great way because it's very mobile friendly. You can email in stuff. They have a mobile app. You can get content up. You don't have to have this powerful device. It can just go up real time.
Yeah, and it's really, and I think the word tumble is stumble or tumble upon new content. It's people share, and you can discover new content, and things can go viral. Any examples that you were talking about recently?
Yeah, so we just had this story not too long ago of, is the dress blue or black or white and gold? And
which one is it?
Blue and black from the very beginning.
Blue and black for me.
Yeah, so I think because we have, high definition eyes with our glasses. We get extra help. But the idea of that story, what happened, it originally was posted, the individual that was like kind of arguing with her mom about, no, the dress is this or the dress is that. She posted that story on Tumblr.
Yes. And other people discovered it.
And
they reblogged and reshared it.
And it went viral. And so you look at the powerful example of how Tumblr is in a younger generation, still viral and still connected. Their users made that story a hit within hours. It was nuts.
Yeah, and so it is both the ability to post and publish to your Tumblr feed really easily, but also to reshare and spread that is one of the assets of Tumblr, basically.
Yeah, so some language just for you to be aware of, just to kind of help that jumpstart your activity on Tumblr. A reshare, a repost is one thing you can do. So the idea is that if you have a personal Tumblr account, you can actually repost someone else's post.
Yeah.
And it can go into your personal Tumblr account. So for example, if you have a guest speaker at your church and they have a Tumblr account and maybe they make an announcement that they're speaking at your church, you can repost their content. Or with a brand, if somebody does a promotion or something that you're for, you can repost that. A lot of times in social media, there's days that rally behind like a World's AIDS Day when you want to end, or like ending sex slavery. There's days like that. You can have the ability to repost content from those things to rally behind those days. And so reshare is a powerful way. It's one of the reasons why that dress story got so popular.
That's kind of amazing. So there's another way to give a nod to posts, right? It's not just sharing it on your Tumblr, but it's kind of like Facebook. There's a little device that you can do, right?
Yeah. So on Tumblr, the thing that you can do, their version of liking something is hearting something. It's kind of this create a little heart, and you go and you heart it, and that way, I know love. But with the heart, the idea is that you get the ability to say, hey, I like this, and every like, people can see that, and so it's a great way to kind of let them know. So resharing is kind of the powerful. You're resharing that, kind of letting the whole world know. Liking is kind of a personal thing where you can let people know you rally behind that, but that definitely helps the activity.
Right. And then one of the unique parts of the Tumblr culture is the type of media or content's on there. So tell us about that.
Yeah, there's a couple different types that kind of that really come out of Tumblr kind of activity. One is the GIF. Am I saying that right?
I don't know. I think it's GIF for some.
GIF. Okay.
How do you spell it? Everyone's seen it.
GIF. Yeah, GIF. So GIF, I'm going to keep on stumbling over that. GIF is this, actually the technical way of saying it is graphic interchange format. Nobody says that.
What's that?
I know. It's kind of the shorthand, but really all it is an animated loop. And so the idea is you can have creative kind of they're almost like, when you look at it slowly, it looks like photos that interact with each other, but it's an animated loop, and it's a creative way. So people make different jokes. Like, for example, if you have a CEO that does something funny, or a pastor, you can create an animated loop that just repeats them doing the robot, and you can even put like Mr. Roboto on it. And so brands use this in a very creative ways, but it's something that happens on Tumblr that kind of goes everywhere. And not just the GIF, but also you have a meme.
Yeah, what's a meme?
A meme is kind of a cultural phenomenon. It's something. It's a graphical visual of something that's happening culturally. So a lot of times when something happens, I've seen this happen at the most recent Olympics in London, where one of the gymnasts made a very funny face, like almost like an angry, I can't do it, but an angry face, and they caught it on camera. Where all of a sudden on Tumblr there were these memes of the screen capture of the face. And then they were saying things like, hey, I don't want to go to school, or that's not good. The other thing that just happened most recently in the most recent Super Bowl, Richard Sherman at one point during the Super Bowl said something about how many touchdowns they had gotten, and I think he held up 4 or 5. Well, they ended up losing that Super Bowl, and people had created memes around, look, that's how many points you lost by. And so there's all these creative ways that people on Tumblr interact. Humor is a big way. And so as an organization, as a church, I don't care if you're a business, nonprofit, or a church, there's creative ways you can interject yourself into the culture and help that really be more viral and more relatable, especially to a younger audience.
So you're trying to use humor in those memes and some photos, and then you're overlaying some text over graphics.
Yes.
And you're kind of like changing the original meaning. You're co-opting the actual picture, right? One of the famous is that little baby boy that...
I know.
That one, right?
Yeah. I don't know. What's at the end of that?
I don't know what it is, but It's basically
It's blurred at the top.
Yes, and you're basically using text over graphics to basically project some quotes on that situation.
Yeah, so Canva, again, is a great resource that you can use to create some very powerful and simple images. And actually, if you have an iPhone or Android, you can actually just search GIF creator or meme creator in the App Store, and there's tons that you can simply, I know Pics with Words is one that is really popular. So those are, check out Canva. Always, we're going to keep on referencing that. Check out Pics with Words, and different in your store, in the Android market and in the App Store. Check out different resources on there. And so, kind of the homework that I want to challenge everybody, kind of a jump start.
How do you get into Tumblr?
Yeah, how do you get into Tumblr? Is that go to tumblr.com, so TUMBLR. Go to tumblr.com and just start exploring. Start seeing how people interact. Start checking out different brands. So one brand I want to challenge you to check out is Pixar. So you can actually go to disneypixar.tumblr.com.
Fun Tumblr.
I know, it's a great Disney. Well, individually Pixar. I know they're interlaced now, but you see how that brand, a big company, can be very personal and very relatable, and they contextualize their brand on Tumblr. So I want to challenge you, as your homework, go to disneypixar.tumblr.com and see how they do that, and start writing down 2 kind of takeaways. Oh, as a church, we can do this on Tumblr regularly. As an organization, we can do this. As a company, we can do this. And that is your homework. And so on our next episode of the Social Media Jumpstart, what are we going to be talking about, Kenny?
We're going to talk about your favorite Pinterest. I'm joking, because the joke is that it's only women on Pinterest. But Pinterest is a powerful platform, and I think all brands today really need to tap into it and appreciate what the upside is on Pinterest. And we'll tackle that next time here on Social Media Jumpstart.